Had a pop, Woodward spilt it, and guess who's there? Throw and support from Bukayo! Alexander-Arnold, and 100 Premier League goals!
Hi everyone, you're welcome to a brand new episode of the FootyWit podcast. And yes, this is the Arsenal fan corner. As you can see, myself and Ehiz, we have our Arsenal jerseys on, and then you know what it means. It's time for the Arsenal fan corner, the first Arsenal fan corner of the season. So first of all, a big thank you to all our subscribers, all our listeners, everyone who has been watching on YouTube, and all those who have been listening on Spotify, Anchor, and Google. And what else? Just a friendly reminder that we do stand with the Premier League in their campaign against racism. Yes, Ehiz, how are you?
Yeah, good to be on the episode. Good to be on the other side. Now I'm the one hosting.
Yeah, good to have you on the other
Responsibility
side also.
has changed. So I hope I'll be able to say all what's on my mind today as
Nah,
we get Arsenal.
definitely. I think this podcast is for you to just let loose right now. Everything that you've been holding. I hope Chiamaka watches, and then he can come back and banter you later when we come back for the EPL review. Yeah. But let's just dive straight into it. First of all, let's start from the match against Wolverhampton Wanderers, because I know we want to say a lot of things about Arsenal, right? But let's start from the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Arsenal, before going into that game, they had 3 games in hand, and we both knew that top 4 chances were in their hands. And then they went into that game. I won't lie, Arsenal surprised me. Arsenal surprised me. The spirit from the boys. It was clear that. It's clear this is a new team under Arteta. It looked so very, very good. And then, you must talk about key players, as you can see right now, Lacazette, Saka, and then he revived Nicolas Pepe, who Mikel Arteta spoke about, since he came back from the AFCON. And then he says Nico is a different person all of a sudden. He's training better, he's smiling. And then, after the game, he did reveal that, look, he actually just had a baby midnight or in the early hours of the morning, and then after having it, he sends the gaffer a message and saying, look, I want to be involved in the team today, I want to make an impact. And what an impact he did make. What were your thoughts about the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers?
First off, that game, I was cussing the hell out. For the first 80 minutes, I was like, what the funk? Here we go again. When we're supposed to take advantage of the whole situations, 3 games on hand or at hand, whichever one is correct, against or as compared to the Manchester United, Wolverhampton Wanderers, no, West Ham, Manchester United. We and Wolverhampton Wanderers, Wolverhampton Wanderers have a game in hand over us, and it's just us and Tottenham that we're on the same. When we played Wolves, we were on the same games played. So most of them have dropped points that game week. And it was just there for us to take, and let's just win the game and move on. And crazy mistake from Gabriel. Big up to Ramsdale, because I was seeing the camera corner that was on Ramsdale throughout that game. And I loved the spirit. I loved what he did. He had to encourage Gabriel. Yes, you've made the mistake. Come on, everybody makes a mistake. And he did one vital thing. He didn't let us go a man down. If it was Leno, possibly, with all due respect to Leno might have brought down Chwang, or what's his name, the Wolf players that nicked the ball off Ramsdale. But good thing, good judgment from Ramsdale there, that he was able to keep us 11-11 on the team and make us fight. But for the first 80 minutes, I was cussing the hell out. Like, what is this? What's happening to the Arsenal? Take advantage. And, Nicolas Pepe came on board. did the magic for us. Did you see that turn? That was a poacher's goal. We didn't even think about it.
Yeah, it was a fantastic goal, and I mean that's what we want to see from Nicolas Pepe week in, week out. I mean,
Yeah.
you're talking about the turn. I mean, just look at it right here. I mean, him making that turn then sets himself up for a fantastic shot. Made the turn with his right foot, and then immediately, like a fox in the box, he's so comfortable. He was just able to put the ball at the back of the net, and that's what Nicolas Pepe is all about. Definitely. So, okay, we just lost his for a moment. I'm sure he'll be right back in the pod with us. But if you're watching this right now, this is the Arsenal Fan Corner on the FootyWit podcast. Do we have you back now? Technical issues over here in Nigeria. Our network has not been the best.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Good to have you back.
Sorry, I went off, Ben. We're gonna have this. We're gonna have this throughout this episode. I just hope the network stays stable. I don't have all my hardware set up. That's why I'm doing this. But like we were mentioning before I went.
Seems like we've lost his again. I don't know. Networking in Nigeria has been terrible these days. Hopefully, we do get him back as soon as possible, and then we'll be moving on, talking about some other things apart from the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers. We will be talking about Arsenal's chances of a top four finish. We will be talking about life under Arteta, potential new signings. I mean, the Arsenal squad right now is very, very thin. A total of 6 players left the club during the January transfer window. Talking about Callum Chambers, Sead Kolasinac, okay, I think we got his back. All right,
I don't know. I don't know what's happening today.
The Gremlins. It's the Gremlins.
The Gremlins, man. They don't want me to talk about the Arsenal, but I'll keep on saying it because, like I was talking about the Pepe stun, it was phenomenal. That's what we need.
And I mean,
I was part of. I was part of.
Look at your screen right now. See the way Prudence was toggling Pepe. This is the Pepe that we want to see in the Premier League. Game week in, game week out. Yeah.
Well, I was part of the lot that was griping when we sold the Bukayo off, and we just had only Lacazette and what was his name again? Nketiah as the only striker left in that team. But we needed that presence in the box, someone that can do that magic in the box, and Nicolas Pepe did that. But cynics would say that did Mikel Arteta had to wait until he gave him a call because his wife gave birth to a baby and he needed to show that he's a player. That didn't need to. We don't need that kind of performance at this moment. We want someone that would give such performance for the next 14 games because the next 14 games are critical. We heard that he had to put a call across to Mikel Arteta that, hey, boss, gaffer, I need to go in there. My wife just gave birth and I need to show that, yes, I need to show for the baby that was just brought into this earth, but we don't need that. We need Nicolas Pepe to be in that mode for the remaining 14 games of the season because it's critical to whatever we're doing qualifying for the Champions League. And also, just to touch on the Wolves game, like I said, first 80 minutes I was cussing the hell out. 82nd minute, the goal came in from Nicolas Pepe, and you could see the way the Wolves guys were wasting the hell of time trying to buy time to see if they could pick a point. And the 6 minutes that we were given should have been more than that because these guys wasted a hell lot of time. But fast forward, in the fifth minute of the added extra time, we nicked in the winner. But I'm so pissed that they gave that goal as an own goal to Jose Sarr. So the question is, if Lacazette had not made that attempt to hit that ball, will Jose Sarr hit the ball into the net? So come on, man.
Of course,
Lacazette should have been awarded that goal. Come on.
True, I do agree. But then when you take a look at the trajectory of the way the ball went, right here you can see the way Lacazette struck the ball, and then this angle actually probably gives us a bit of insight as to maybe why they awarded Jose Sa the goal. So you can see him striking from this angle. First of all, it wasn't a clean strike that was obvious, and then it hits the shin of Roman Saiz, and then off to the hand of Jose Sa. So when it hits Jose Sa's hand, ordinarily it's either it should go inward because of Jose Sa's palm, rather the ball went through his hands and then it went into goal. So I mean, maybe because the vital touch put it into goal, maybe that's why Jose Sa was given the goal. But we don't really know right there. Hopefully Hayes will be back as soon as possible, and then we can move on to the next talking point. But it's quite difficult. So I mean, it's quite annoying that the goal was awarded to Jose Sa instead of Lacazette. But I mean, how impactful was Lacazette that night against Wolverhampton Wanderers?
When you say a striker who has how many months left on his contract, you see him running towards the defense to help the team out, in the defensive style of play, chasing. I think he chased Moutinho down the flank and was able to nick the ball off him. For me, that shows that is the kind of character we want. A whole lot would say.
Hughes was talking about the current Arsenal club captain Alexander Lacazette and his performance against Wolverhampton Wanderers. It was a great performance. He was able to muster his team together and make things happen. Yeah, Hughes, you were saying.
Yeah, a lot of people would say Aubameyang is the captain, Lacazette this, Lacazette that. But come on, Lacazette gave in 101% that night against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I just hope and I pray that we want that kind of performance for the rest 14 games. I don't care who's in front of you. I don't care who you're playing, be it a middle table tier team, or the top team, or the lower ranked team. Go in there, put in the performance, and get us the 3 points, because now at this moment the top 4 is in our hands. One thing that struck that day, deja vu wanted to happen again. Arsenal, when it's about time for you to take your chances, we just slip, we just let it go off. But that day, it was different. You see, the remaining 14 minutes after the first goal we scored was an epic moment. It's going to be a moment that will go down in the club's history. I know a lot of people was saying, what was he yapping about? But map that 14 minutes, the remaining 8 minutes, and the added 6 minutes is going to go down into history of when this club, the lot of our club, turned around. And also one more thing, Ramsdale celebrating in front of Neves. Oh, I love that guy, man.
Nothing sweeter than that. I'm sure this was just before he went to do that. It was that's why we love football. Banter.
I love that bloke, man. Yeah.
And obviously we all know why Aaron Ramsdale did that. That's simply because Ruben Neves made a comment after the first game of the season. When he said, "Oh, Arsenal celebrated like they had won the Premier League." Well, we're going to celebrate because a win is a win at the end of the day. And for Arsenal,
6 points gained.
Every single game going to the end of the season is extremely, extremely, extremely important. It's a final after another final. I mean, I'm taking a look at the table right now. From 4th position, Manchester United, you've got West Ham, you've got Arsenal, you've got Tottenham Hotspur, you've got Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, between these 5 teams, Manchester United Manchester United is up to par in terms of the match weeks. They played 27 games. Same thing with West Ham United. Same thing. Okay, so just West Ham and Manchester United have played 27 games. Tottenham Hotspur have played 25 games, meaning they've got 2 games in hand, right? Wolverhampton Wanderers have played 26 games. They've got 1 game in hand. And then you've got Arsenal, who has 24. They've only played 24 games. So Arsenal have 2 more games in hand. This is a very, very good position for Arsenal right now. We lost that. He's right there. He'll be coming back. We're just touching on Arsenal's position on the log currently. So we've got you back. And then I'm saying Arsenal have got 2 games in hand. They've only played 24 matches, so that means they've got 2 games in hand. Arsenal currently have 45 points.
It's
And
3
then
over Manchester United.
exactly just 2 points, just a 2 point difference
Okay,
between
2 points difference. Yeah.
2 point difference between Arsenal and Manchester United. And then obviously if Arsenal are able to win all their games, and inclusive of some of the games in hand, they've got Chelsea, they've got Liverpool, but they're still going to face Manchester United again. So Arsenal have every opportunity to cement this top four position, you know. And then definitely we know that it's up to us now to actually finish the top four position. But then the question beckons now, is what do you think? Do you think Arsenal has what it takes to finish in a top four position? Wow, wow, wow. The Gremlins are really, really, really dealing with his as we speak. And he just keeps dropping from the session currently. Hopefully, he's able to join us back and then give us his thoughts regarding Arsenal Football Club and their chances of finishing a top four position. For me, really, I think about it and I say that this is football, anything is possible. Arsenal can't finish in the top four position, but just like he was saying before, history with Arsenal says that when it gets down to them doing what they are meant to do and taking what is theirs, they sometimes fumble, and they throw in the towel. But hopefully this doesn't happen this time. It seems like lines are falling into pleasant places for them, and then hopefully they are able to finish in that top of position and get back into Champions League football for the first time since 2016, if I'm not mistaken. First time since 2016 where they got knocked out by Bayern Munich. So that's about 5 years without Champions League football. And, Arsenal is one of the biggest clubs in the Premier League. Only Arsenal and Manchester United have never been relegated from the Champions League. So Arsenal not competing in the Champions League is like a taboo, because they are one of the big boys and then they must play in the big leagues with the big boys. But then they do need to do what needs to be done to chill with the big boys. So right now they are just running kitty kitty, they are running kata kata, but they're not ready to chill with the big boys yet. Wow. Network must be really, really bad now that we don't have his back yet. Hopefully he's able to join back in. We'll wait for him. All right, it seems like we've got his back now. All right, his
Can you hear?
yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly. What are your thoughts
Yeah,
on
I, th-
Arsenal
I, th- I
finishing?
think it's the Manchester United fans and Tottenham fans that are doing this, sending gremlins to me. They don't want me to
It's
yap them
possible.
today.
It's possible, but then I want to know what do you think about Arsenal's chances of finishing that top four position? Is it realistic?
Well, for me, yeah, it is realistic. When you look at it in terms of the games played, the game left to play, at times to say you don't unless it's been added or it's been put on the board, just like we did against Wolves. The
True.
games against Wolves was a game in hand as well, or was a game at hand, but we just
True.
had to get the 3 points. So the
Yeah.
games at hand we have is against Chelsea, Tottenham, and Liverpool.
Correct.
Quite tricky games. Chelsea,
Yeah.
it's a London derby, like they say. When it comes to the derby match, form goes out of the window. Due respect to Chelsea, they're the World Club champions. Give it to them.
Yeah.
And they played fantastically well against Liverpool yesterday. They lost
True.
just on penalties against Liverpool. A very, very good side. Tottenham, when they see us now, especially when they're home, their tails, tend to get up and they're ready to fight and put in the best. They too, they're fighting for the top four. So it's going to be a
Yeah.
cracker. It's a London derby as well. Form goes out the window. Against Liverpool, our form against Liverpool in the past few games have been trash. The only time got one over them was the second leg at the Emirates. That was 2 seasons ago when Lacazette and Nelson scored. And also at the cotton razor of the season, which is the, what do they call it? The Community Shield. So those are the only 2 times we nicked it against Liverpool. And our record against Liverpool in the EPL has been so bad. So that they are tricky games, but like they say in a game of football, anything can happen. 2 minutes, put in the performance. Who knows? Out of that 3 games, we could get 6 points, or we could get 4 points, or we could get 0 points. But in this kind of run, sorry, I know you want to say something, but in this kind of run, the games against the big sides don't really matter. What really matters is you picking the 3 points against those lesser teams. With all due respect, I'm not disrespecting any team, but teams like Wolves should be able to pick 3 points. We still have Brighton, Hove, and Albion to play. We should be able to pick 3 points. Leicester City is coming to Emirates. You should be able to pick up the 3 points. We're still going to Villa Park to play Aston Villa. We should be able to pick the 3 points. We're still going to play Newcastle. Go to their house, trash them with their millions of money that they have. We begin to pick points against those lesser teams. You begin to amass those points. Mind you, Manchester United is still going to play Tottenham. Is still going to play Chelsea. Is still going to play Man City. Liverpool is still going to play, or Chelsea is still going to play us. Is still going to play Man U. Is still going to play Tottenham. So those big teams still have to play each other. And one way or the other, we will drop points. All of drop points because we are going to beat each other.
Of course.
So what I advise is the energy. Take every game the way it comes. I love performance. Be carried out against Wolves. If we can put in such performance in the remaining 14 games of the season, I bet you top 4 is there for us. And not even top 4, because we're all concentrated on top 4. If we play, or when we play all outstanding games and we win, we don't drop points, we're just 2 points behind Chelsea, or we even be more than Chelsea if we win. So should the target be top 4 or top 3? But like I said, take the remaining 14 games as they come, pick up the points, and who knows? The sky could be the limit.
Definitely. I mean, but I have to say that in the month of February, the fixtures were placed in a good way for us now, right? Because before the game against Brentford was on the 19th of February, and then the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers was on the 24th of February. Now, for now, anyway, looking at the games in March, they seem well spaced out as well. Apart from the back-to-back fixtures, well, March looks kind of tight as well, and might even get tighter because it's down to the Premier League to drop the fixture dates for the games in hand against Chelsea and against Spurs as well. But then I'm taking a look at March, and first of all, Arsenal travel to Vicarage Road to face Watford, who is trying to survive relegation under Roy Hodgson.
Very tricky time to play those kind of teams.
Exactly.
Very, very tricky.
Exactly. Yeah, and then they get back to the Emirates and they have 2 back-to-back big games. First of all, on the 13th of March against Leicester City, and then they host Liverpool, and then the beginning of the month of March against Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa. Now, taking a look at these games in March, do you think Arsenal can pick up 3 points from all these games? Watford, Leicester, Liverpool, Aston Villa. How many points do you think Arsenal can pick up out of the possible 12?
I don't have a crystal ball to look at the future. But the point is, Watford, yes, Watford is a London derby, right?
No, it's not a London derby.
It's not London, okay. I think I'm mistaken it for something. Oh no, okay. I know Watford is going to playing those teams in this time of the season because Watford too, they are battling relegation. I don't know what relegation they're battling. They should all just go to the championship because they're not really adding up to the Premiership. They've been so poor this last in their last few games, except the win. I think they picked the win against Aston Villa, and also made Manchester United look shite.
But I mean, for our Nigerian brothers, I don't think we would want Watford to get relegated. I mean, they've got the likes of Dennis, they've got a table.
They'll get a good team, especially Dennis. Dennis will get a team that will buy up. He's a star.
What about Maduka Okoye? Maduka Okoye is also set to join them in the summer. He already signed a 5-year deal in January.
Well, at this stance, Arsenal comes first. I know I'm a Nigerian, but at this time, Arsenal comes first. I don't care what happens to Maduka Okoye or Dennis or a table. Against Watford, it's going to be tricky. When it came to the Emirates, they made it difficult for us, creating those low block, finding it difficult for us to break them down. We got a penalty. Aubameyang lost that penalty. I didn't mean that penalty had gone in. Probably it would have been a rout because of that first half, we were all over them and we lost a lot of chances. Ben Foster stood up. So, such game, I know at the Vicarage Road, they wouldn't want to set up with low block. They want to come out because they too, they're fighting for their lives. So I think it's going to play into our hands. And, that's the kind of thing Arsenal want, coming all out, playing them. So it's going to be who take the chances the most because it will be a tricky tie. But it now depends on if we take our chances and Lacazette don't start shooting blanks. Once Lacazette gets his shooting boots correctly, and Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe, if he makes the team, I think we have the chance of making 3 points. Aston Villa, we know who is going to be waiting for us. Martinez, ever since anytime Martinez concedes a goal, he said it's because of Arsenal. So, but he hasn't been making those excuses this past few games. But we know what Martinez brings to the table. He would want to play that mind games. But do we have what it takes to beat Aston Villa? Yes. If we put in that shift, we put in at the Emirates that we were 3 goals up as at before 60 minutes of the game, I think we should be able to do that, not minding what they play. Whatever they play doesn't mind us. We put our game. They should be wary of us because we have a good side. We have a better side than them. But I know the crowd will be the 12th man. I know they will up the ante. They will want to do the very best they can do. I know the third match is against who?
And then the last 2 games, Leicester City and then Liverpool.
Leicester City, we should be able to pick 3 points at the Emirates. We should be.
Right.
We saw what we did to them. That if we put our games, if we do what we're supposed to do as a team, play well and don't make silly mistakes, cut out the silly mistakes, Leicester City should be 3 points. Watford, 3 points. Aston Villa is tricky. Maybe a draw or possibly a win. But Liverpool, those guys are too good. I don't see us winning Liverpool. I have to be honest. I have to be honest. I don't see us winning. Even at the Emirates. Those guys are too good. Did you see them yesterday?
Yes.
Did you see them yesterday?
Fantastic game.
We are not at that level yet. So let's don't blow our horns and let's don't get carried away. I know it's a game of football. Anything can happen. We could start. Fabinho gets red carded, or possibly Van Dijk do an own goal, or he does an own goal. Who knows? It could favor us. Anything can happen. But on a good day when everything is set, it's going to be difficult beating the Liverpool team.
Definitely. So what you're saying right now is out of a possible 12 points to pick up in the month of March, realistically, Arsenal should pick up 7 points.
7 points,
yeah. Hopefully they do that. But let's talk about 2 key players, right? Arsenal have been doing so far so good this season, and then 2 important players for them. Talking about their youngsters, 2 graduates from Hill and Academy, and then I'm talking about Bukayo Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe. I mean, these kids have been they are young men. I'm not going to call them kids anymore because they're not teenagers anymore. 2 very, very good players. They've been doing so well for Arsenal. Saka has been more consistent. He hasn't really had issues with injury. Smith-Rowe currently is out due to COVID. That's a major reason why he missed the last game. But the 2 of them have been doing very, very well. A lot of criticism came to Arsenal when, first of all, they handed Bukayo Saka the number 7 shirt that has been famously worn by the likes of Robert Pires and co. And obviously, number 10 jersey given to Emile Smith-Rowe after the departure of Mesut Ozil. But we need to talk about them. Currently, Emile Smith-Rowe has 9 goals in the Premier League. He's joint top scorer as a midfielder with Bruno Fernandes. Talk about that. That is something worth talking about. I mean, this is an Emile Smith-Rowe who is just 21 years old, and he's doing great things. He's doing things, if you ask me. But total contribution so far this season, he's got 10 goals and 2 assists. And then if we're talking about Bukayo Saka, funny enough, Bukayo Saka does not have the same goal contribution compared to Emile Smith-Rowe. However, Bukayo Saka has been able to come up with 8 goals in all competitions and 4 assists. Aside the goals and assists, we know how impactful these two are. What are your thoughts on Bukayo Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe?
Like we usually say, first off, big up to Unai Emery for discovering these guys, for giving them the opportunity. Because big up to him, man. Yes, even if he had a
No doubt.
spell, even if he had a shitty spell at Arsenal, but big up to Unai Emery for giving these guys their first ever debut for Arsenal, senior team debut. And ever since then, the rest is history. We'll see. And also big up to Mikel Arteta, because it's one thing for managers to give a young chap the opportunity. It's another thing for an incoming manager to also see that potential in the kid and giving the kid the opportunity to grow more. One thing Arteta has been able to
as well. Freddie Ljungberg did the same thing. So remember, I remember the game against Everton. I remember his starting 11. He had Bukayo Saka at left back, and then he had Bruce Nelson, Gabriel Martinelli, Nketiah, and Smith-Rowe as well. So these managers were able to see talent in this players. They saw the potential rather, and they gave them the chance.
Yeah, sorry for missing Ljungberg's name. Big up to Emery, big up to Ljungberg. And also big up to Arteta for being able to bring out the best. I think Unai Emery and Ljungberg brought out the good in them, but Arteta has been able to bring out the best in these guys. Smith-Rowe not starting, been able to contribute 9 goals in the EPL thus far, and also Saka. Come on, Saka has grown from. We can see the progress. We can measure the progress. I think that Tottenham game was the game that turned the corner when both of them outran Tottenham and tore Tottenham into pieces at the Emirates. And also we've been able to see from there they've been able to grow. Against Aston Villa, crazy. Against Norwich at Carrow Road, we saw what Saka did. At Leeds, also they've been instrumental all the way. And Cynic said during the course of the season that why would we have to put this responsibility on the shoulders of these 2 young guys? But the truth is, the fundamentals these guys have, we don't need to complain at this stage of why we put in responsibility. If you look at the history of the Hill End, players that have come from that place, they've been built tough to be able to take responsibility at a very young age. And I'm really happy that Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe are really, really, really doing what we fans want them to do. I know on our FootyWit platform, Tunde Yabdos, when Emile Smith-Rowe got the number 10, he said he knew it, that since Ozil was leaving, Arsenal was going to give ESR the number 10 jersey. And ever since he got that jersey, he has not failed. A little bit of niggles here and there. Injury has not really helped him out this season. But when it's time for him to perform, he has always given his 100%. And I love the way Arteta has really, really integrated them into the team, especially ESR, because things like that affect potentials. If you don't get the chance to be in the starting 11, you begin to see performance drop, you begin to see shoulders drop, you begin to see confidence drop. But we've not seen that with ESR. When he comes in, he's ready to turn on the light. And I really love that. But Saka is on another level. I really love the contribution. And I think these 2 guys are key to our qualification for Champions League. They are key to our qualification for Champions League. If Arteta and the rest of the management, the coaches can get the best out of them, ensure they are well rested. And I love the way our games are being spread this February and also going into March. We will see the best out of these guys. And I hope they don't get injured, because our squad is thin at the moment, 16, 17 outfield players. Very, very thin. I hope none of them get injured. And I hope nothing drastic happens to them. But I feel these 2 guys are critical to our qualification for Champions League.
All right, then. You gave praise to a certain man to bringing out the best in these 2 guys. And I'm thinking that one man has to be Mikel Arteta. He has won over the hearts of some Arsenal fans, and then he's still yet to win over the hearts of some other Arsenal fans.
I don't know if he has won your heart over.
No. He's yet to. Until he secures that top 4 finish, I'm not going to be on the bandwagon just yet. But you need to give him credit. Despite all the odds, despite some very I won't say unorthodox coaching styles, because if you think about it, his ruthlessness was seen in previous years from Fergie, from Van Gaal. These are coaches who are very, very disciplined with their teams and their players. So you can't really say he has done anything out of the ordinary. However, what should I say makes Arsenal fans toggle a bit is the fact that he maybe you say he booted out key players, quote and unquote. However, he has also been able to go away with the dead legs that don't add value to the team, the likes of Kolasinac and Co. Even though
Mustafi.
Mustafi, if you're taking a look at it from the economical point of view, it seems it was bad business since we're not able to get money off them, because the total number of players that have been shipped out under Arteta and Edu, their combined worth was about £203 million, and Arsenal got absolutely nothing in return for these players. I mean, if you take a look at the Aubameyang situation, they're even still paying his wages. They'll pay his wages till at the end of the season.
Yeah.
However, Arteta, it looks now that Arteta has found his team, and then in the last two games against Brentford and as well against Norwich City, you could see, and even rather not Norwich City, Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yep.
You could see that Arsenal will sometimes, when they're comfortable in possession, it seems like they then transition to a 4-3-3. We know this is what Arteta wants to play in the long run. We've seen Xhaka move up more, and then you have either one of the fullbacks.
I just wanted to touch on that. On that. I think henceforth, Granit Xhaka shouldn't come back. He shouldn't come to the defensive angle. He should just stay up, because he gave against Wolves. Did you see? He gave us more bites up there, because and I love the approach, the way they food possession of Wolves at the very top of the field. Though it was very, very dangerous. It was dangerous because if we're playing a good side, they would have just cut us through and on route to go. But I just can Granit Xhaka just stay up front and don't come back. Let him just play offensively and defensively.
That would be difficult, because Xhaka actually lacks space compared to the likes.
But he added bites. He added bites.
Of course, because he's got that vision.
To whatever formation we played against Wolves that day, he added bites to the front, because it was just spraying those passes and letting those, and that's the Granit Xhaka we know, or we have known.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, for Switzerland, he plays more as a central midfielder who doesn't really have defensive duties. That's why he was the number 10 for them. And but then one reason, obviously, why he was able to do that was because of Thomas Partey, who is playing fantastic football at the moment, probably in his best form in his short Arsenal career so far. But I want to ask you the ultimate question.
Talking of Partey, before you ask the question, did you notice something about Partey? It's something I observed about Partey when we were playing at the Emirates. The confidence is there.
Yeah.
But when we go away, there's this performance about Partey that is not as smooth as compared to when he's at the Emirates. I think he's comfortable playing at the Emirates, but most of the away matches, he fumbles. The only away match that I know he has really, really performed well ever since he joined us was the 1-0 victory against Manchester United at Old Trafford.
I was about to say the same thing. That's the game
also,
that came as well.
And the second game I noticed was Leicester City this season when we won 2-0 at the King Power Stadium. Those were the only two matches on an away ground that I see Partey play good football. You saw against Everton, the equalizer, he cost it. He lost the ball in the midfield. So imagine if we had two parties. Possibly Arteta would do work on one party to be solid on away grounds, and one party to be solid at the Emirates. But it's just that
that's why I expected Arsenal. Pardon me, I expected them to have signed Bruno Guimaraes instead of letting him go to Newcastle United. But he's gone. Arsenal need to look for a new defensive partner for Thomas Partey. So yes, to the ultimate question I want to ask you: is Mikel Arteta the right man to take Arsenal forward? Is he the right man to help them first of all clinch a top four finish, get them back into the Champions League, and get them back into being one of the major forces in Europe, because the players seem to believe. The players seem to believe. I'm talking about the likes of Gabriel Magalhaes, talking about the likes of Gabriel Martinelli as well. All these players speak so well of him, and then they do say that Arsenal will be a good team in the future, and they will win trophies under Arteta. But what do you think? Is Arteta the right man to lead Arsenal forward?
Yeah, so before I answer that question, I'll just do a bit of analysis with what you said. When players come out to talk about their manager in a good way, it speaks well. It shows the manager. There's some things we don't see behind the scenes. True. All what we see is on the pitch of play. So when players come all out, not one, not two, not three, talk good about the manager, especially when the manager is a young manager, it speaks a whole lot of what the manager is doing behind the scene. Not necessarily tactics-wise. It could be the culture. It could be whatever the manager is doing in terms of camaraderie among the players, in terms of building team spirit, teamwork, because it takes a whole lot to win a football match. Not only tactics as well. Mental strength, psychology, everything goes in between it. Everything goes into it. Sorry.
Yeah.
And also, if I compare Arteta with his cohorts, we can see on the other side of London, Tottenham, within how many seasons? 2 seasons, they've had 3 managers. 4, what am I saying? Jose Mourinho started last season with them. He was sacked. Mason, what's his name? His full name is something Mason. I don't know his full name. But Mason.
Yeah, Ryan Mason.
Ryan Mason took over. Interim, temporarily. Beginning of the season, Nuno Esperantos from Wolves joined. He didn't last. He got sacked, got booted out, and now they have Antonio Conte with them. And Antonio Conte already is rumbling, saying, "Hey, this is not what I expected at Tottenham." And also, when you look at Manchester United, Ole, that started the whole journey together. I know Chimaoka will not agree with me. Ole that started the journey together is no more there. Now they're bringing a Ralph Rangnick. Ralph Rangnick still here and there, struggling.
Yeah, but obviously Rangnick is not going to be the long-term coach.
Yeah, interim, but he's still struggling. Chelsea, they booted out Lampard, and Tuchel is doing fantastically well. But why am I saying all this? Arteta started at a particular point, and we can measure progress. Let's let the truth be said. I saw stats over the weekend. As at this time last season, after 24 games, we won 31 points. But this season already, we won 45 points. Beginning of the season, if anybody told me as an Arsenal fan that we will be close to fighting for a Champions League place, I tell the person you're bluffing. You're telling me, come on, are you trying to make me happy? Are you trying to make me? Yeah. But this is what we're talking about. I know Guardiola started somewhere, Ferguson started somewhere, Wenger started somewhere. So if this is the journey for Arteta to begin his managerial career, he's doing well. I know most Arsenal fan base are divided on the Arteta. But if we're to look at statistics, if we're to look at figures, if we're to look at numbers, Arteta is doing well. Yeah. To crown it up, if he qualifies for Champions League, he has done very, very well. But now the question is he the right man to take Arsenal back to the glory days? And when you look at football, coach, a manager being that tactical is not a priority. It's all about investment. Look at Chelsea. Is Tuchel that good? Let's be sincere. Is Tuchel a magical manager? Is it the type that turns that has the Midas touch and turn things to gold? We saw him struggle at PSG. Even while he was at Dortmund, yes, he struggled as well. He wasn't that fantastic. Yes, even if he played, he managed the big side in German football, but he's not that fantastic. So, but we could see what he has done at Chelsea, the trophies he has won, and it's based on investment. So this boils down to the owners of Arsenal, the likes of Josh Kroenke, the son, and Stan Kroenke, the dad. if they can join forces together and invest solely for Arteta. Imagine if we're cutting a Dusan Vlahovic. Every time Dusan Vlahovic scores for Juventus, it's like a dagger is pierced into my heart, really. Because
I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
Imagine if we had a Dusan Vlahovic in that team. Imagine if he came in this January. That would have been a foundation for us to build on in the summer.
Definitely.
But it is what it is. He has decided to go to Juventus. That's gone. We move on. But if Arteta could give us Champions League this season, I hope the box lies on the table of Stan Kroenke and Josh Kroenke to be able to invest heavily in this team and give Arteta the players that he wants to be able to thrive. If we make the Champions League, possibly we get into the second round, quarterfinal. It's a learning phase. Remember, with the shitty team he met, he got to the semi-final of the Europa League. So now imagine if he gets investment. And mind you, I know Guardiola is not trying to blow our ass with what he said, but he said this guy has something good to offer. And we're seeing it. Once the right investment comes, I'm not saying Arteta is the best man to lead us to wherever we're going. But if you look at the numbers, he's doing well. But what if the right investment comes in? Possibly, he could do more.
Yeah. But then, recently from Arteta's, one of Arteta's recent interviews with the club, he did say that one of the reasons why they didn't bring in players was the fact that they don't just want to bring in any player into the club. They want to bring in the right players who would, that are passionate about Arsenal, that want to play for Arsenal, which is the most important thing, and players of good quality. I'll talk about quality because he did talk about that as well. So, I mean, if you're talking about funds, I don't think funds are the question is how high can Arsenal go? Because then again, we know Arsenal have shrewd negotiation tactics, and sometimes they stall a lot, which obviously allows their and then competitors, which allows competitors to take advantage of the entire situation. But I mean, that's their own cup of tea. But I'm talking about going forward and talking about players and maybe personnel who could make things work for Arsenal going forward. One person that needs to be spoken about, who is already an Arsenal player, right? And his potential impact in the team has to be Mr. Saliba. Saliba is one of the most talented centre backs in European football today, and he was signed by Arsenal in 2020, I believe. But then immediately he was sent back on loan to Saint-Etienne and he completed the season. So he was meant to come back and start the season with Arteta, but immediately Arteta assessed him after just 2 games.
2 games, yeah.
Yeah, and then shipped him on loan. First of all, he spends.
But did you? I just want. Sorry for butting in there. If Saliba had stayed, do you think he would have been able to thrive with the pace of the EPL?
So at the point when Saliba joined, the issue with Arsenal was that Arsenal was under fire from the fans, and really, Arsenal fans were not buying into a process yet. And even Arteta as well, it was going to be a quick fire process due to the types of players that Arsenal had with them at that point in time. It was expected that, look, Arteta is just to try and make this team work and make them productive. And then Arteta found out that, look, these guys are not going to do the work for me. I've got some lazy people, I've got some people in my camp who don't really support me. So Saliba would not have had time to actually grow into the Premier League. It might have been difficult for him. So it seems like it was a good idea to let him go back to France to mature. And we've seen that he's one of the best defenders in France currently. First of all, his loan stint with Nice was very, very good. He formed a good partnership with Jean-Claire Todibo, who is also a great French centre-back, from Barcelona's academy. But now he's a permanent stay at Nice. Now he's arguably one of the best defenders playing for Marseille, and he finds himself in the French team of the week at least once every 2 weeks. Has a total number of 12 clean sheets so far this season. He has played in different positions while both at Nice and Marseille. Played in a two-man centre back pairing in a 4 at the back. He has also played in a 3 at the back at different positions. Number one as the central CB, in a three-man at the back and also on the left side as well. So, you know, for me as an Arsenal fan, it's exciting having Saliba come back to the team with the likes of Gabriel and Ben White, and obviously Tomiyasu as well, who you know can play as a centre-back. So the question is, Saliba have a future at Arsenal? What do you think about that?
Well, I feel it's going to add more competition to that back line, because for the past how many seasons Arsenal have always fallen short at that department of the field. We didn't have solid defenders. I was looking at our stats in the last 10 games. Do you know we've not considered that much? I don't know if my stats serves me right. Let's look at these 3 games. We've only considered two goals.
2 goals, correct.
And look at our goal difference in the table. We know we didn't start well, but considering how many goals, 9 goals at the beginning of the season, you know, we know we didn't start well, but Arteta has been able to stabilize the team, and the team has been able to, you know, there are some games when you think we'll get bashed, and look at us going to King Power Stadium, not even conceding a goal. We went to King Power Stadium and we didn't concede a goal, and that's the place where we normally get heavily trashed at times. Barring the Liverpool game that we considered 4-0, and also the Manchester United game at Old Trafford, which considered 3, which I feel, in my own opinion, we give too much respect to Manchester United. We should have nicked a point or 3 points in that game. But I think that part of the department of that part of the team has been stabilized, and they're functioning well. Now, Saliba joining forces with what we have already will give Arteta a plethora of options. You can decide to play 3 at the back, you can decide to play 4 at the back, you can decide to play whatever he wants to play. Saliba will be a good addition and also vital for the future, for the process. He's young, he's going to fit in well into whatever Arteta is trying to build. I just feel I can't wait for him to come back. Come on, I just can't wait. Can't wait.
It'll be good because we know that every top team has at least 4 quality centre backs, 4 first team centre backs. You know, you take a look at a team like Manchester City, for example. They've got Ruben Diaz, they've got Laporte, they've got
John Stones.
They've got John Stones as well. And then sometimes in recent games, we've seen that John Stones has moved out to right back. We've seen Ben White at right back, so we know Ben White can operate in that right back position in case.
Yeah, but whenever he operates at that right back, we don't have that offensive option on the right back. It happened to us at the FA Cup game. FA Cup against Nottingham Forest. Nothing.
Exactly. Very, very correct. So, I mean, it's like just like you said, it's up to Arteta and how he wants to set up the team. Either it's going to be with a 3 at the back or a 4 at the back. However, the most important thing is that Arsenal must secure William Saliba. He must come back to the club. And one more thing, they must make him happy. I think that's the most important thing because
true.
I don't know. I've been some of his interviews. You know, when they ask him what does the future hold for you, he's not so enthusiastic about saying I'm coming back to Arsenal. He just says, you know what, I want to focus on Marseille right now, and then later we talk about the future. So I don't know. For me, that's it's for me. I see that as bittersweet comments from him. But hopefully, he's not so upset with Arteta, and hopefully there was no rows between him and Arteta. We know things are not good with Arteta and Guendouzi. We know most likely Guendouzi is not even going to come back.
I wanted to mention. Sorry, because of time, I wanted to mention that I know that ship has sailed a long time. I know it sailed a long time ago. But he's a player I would have loved. He played on Arteta. Because he transmits that energy that Arteta wants.
True. He's a very passionate player, very
passionate. But it's just that attitude problem. And I know Arteta is trying to. He said non-negotiables. They are non-negotiables. And I respect Arteta for that. It's just a pity we will not see Guendouzi in Arsenal anymore.
Exactly. I mean, I have good memories of him in an Arsenal shirt, but you know what? Probably he will be a top player somewhere else. Yeah. So press for time. But then one thing we need to talk about is striking options. Aubameyang left to Barcelona. Aubameyang has scored 5 goals since he joined FC Barcelona, and Arsenal fans are wondering what's going on. But that's a story for another day. Currently, Arsenal are left with Lacazette and Nketiah. Both of them, their contracts are up at the summer. So currently, you can say that probably Arsenal has no first team striker going forward.
Yep.
And I like it. It's a good position if you ask me. It's a good time to start afresh again and bring in quality players because now there'll be space for these players. Now, some
Yep.
that Arsenal have been linked with, especially in January until now. First of all, Jonathan David of Lille Metropole, the Canadian, and then you've got Alexander Isak. Very, very funny story with Isak. Isak spent his winter holiday in London, to be precise. And, Arsenal fans doing their investigation. He then purchased a Rolls Royce, right? Normally, when players go on vacation, they rent cars. He went ahead to purchase a Rolls Royce Phantom, and then in the plate number, it had the number 15 on it, which obviously he wears for his beloved Sweden. But and then obviously that didn't happen. He wasn't signed. Another player that Arsenal have been linked with is Everton's Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and in the past, Ivan Toney. I know Ivan Toney has made some comments about Arsenal, and I don't think after making those comments, I don't think Arteta want to go for him. Neither do I think Arsenal fans would like to see Ivan Toney wear.
Yeah, we don't want to.
No. Exactly. But then let's talk about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's 24 years old. Prior to his horrendous injury, he was playing well for Everton. First of all, he seemed like he jumped into, or he kicked into the next gear during the first interim spell of Duncan Ferguson. Ancelotti came. He seemed to be playing well also. He has shown that he can play as a lone striker and also as a supporting striker with Richarlison. His current contract expires in 2025. He's 24 years old. He's an England international. What do you think about Dominic Calvert-Lewin joining Arsenal?
Seriously, maybe because I've been watching Juventus games this past few weeks. Dusan Vlahovic. Seriously, how I so wish we got that guy. I don't know, for me, tops it. With all due respect to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I don't rate him as a striker. I don't. He's not that kind of striker that we want if we really want to get to the next level. So I don't have much to say about him. I don't really rate him.
So definitely, you don't think Calvert-Lewin is worth £45 million?
No, I don't think so. I don't. Probably might just turn out to be another Harry Maguire from Manchester United. So I don't rate him. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I don't rate him to come play for Arsenal. The kind of striker that we should be looking out for is a striker that would do more than what Lacazette is doing at the moment. And even at the moment, with Lacazette still being shitty, he's still doing well more than Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Exactly. So I think now, what Lacazette lacks is that aerial prowess, because sometimes it's good that Lacazette knows how to link play, but when the boys, Odegaard, Saka, and the wing backs are doing their thing, there's really no one in the box to finish it off. And then you look to an Alexander Isak, who is 22 years old. He's 6'2". His current contract ends in 2026, and his current market value is £40 million. I mean, this is someone who has had experience at Dortmund and has been playing so well at Real Sociedad. But then I'm taking a look at his form this season. Maybe not his most prolific season. 30 games played so far, 8 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah, it's been 4 though. Yeah,
it's been 4. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, Isak as well. He's not that kind of striker that you would see and you'd be like, this guy is going to do well. Possibly you could come into the EPL and light EPL up. It's possible. And possibly you could come into the EPL and you just go and that's it. But if one thing I've noticed about Arteta, if Arteta is so crazy about a particular player, despite the player not having a good start or having a shitty start in wherever he has played, i.e. Aaron Ramsdale, he was so shitty. Teams he has played for, they've been relegated. And if Arteta could stick by him and say, I want that guy in my team, possibly there's something him and his team are saying. So this is a guy, could be a guy that would come in and blow everybody away, possibly. And it fits into the style as well. That is one thing we should be looking at. It fits into the style of what we want to play. So if we can have an Isak join us, and also, I'm not Oliver Twist here, and also Jonathan David of Lille join us. Well.
Let's talk about Jonathan David briefly before we round up. Jonathan David has been instrumental for Canada in their quest to play
Fight
World
for
Cup
World
in
Cup.
Qatar.
Mm.
He has been very, very fantastic for them in the qualification stages. However, for Lille Metropole, he has been good as well. You know, coming from Gen, he was basically bought to replace Victor Osimhen, who joined Napoli. And
Napoli.
then so far so good. He's been playing well this season. A decent goal scoring record. 35 games in all competitions, 16 goals. I saw him against Chelsea. Not bad at
Shitty,
all.
no?
Yeah, yeah,
Shitty.
but not bad at all. He looks like someone who works hard. A very,
Mm.
very
He has
mobile
a
and
work rate. He has a work
definitely.
rate.
So I like that work rate. I think that's something that you need from an Arsenal team who likes to also press because, like I
Mm.
said, does that very well. So in terms of pressing, you see that in him. And then in terms of, if you take a look at some of the goals he has scored for Canada in the World Cup qualification campaign, and then you take a look at some of his goals for Lille Metropole, you could see that there's a bit of inventory in him when it comes
Yeah.
to scoring. He's not your typical striker. So sometimes, and then he's got Champions League experience. Yeah, compared to every other striker here. So Jonathan
And
David,
also Champions
22
League
years old.
football could attract
Yeah,
him as well.
of course, of
So
course, of course. So
so
22 years
my
old.
wish
Um,
my wish list just the last one. My wish list, if
yeah,
we could just have Jonathan David, Isak, and we keep Lacazette, sell
mm.
Nketiah, keep Lacazette,
I mean,
have
Nketiah is
Jonathan
going.
David.
Nketiah is not signing a new contract, so he's living on his free.
So just give
Yeah.
Lacazette another 1 year
Mm.
to just what's the word to this
One
word
last
just threw
dance.
me now. Yeah, just that last dance with Arsenal. Just to
Yeah,
to what's the word, to congratulate him or to encourage him for what he has
yeah,
done,
yeah,
holding
and
the
let him be a
fort.
part of the success story.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my wish list in that attacking line.
yeah. But I mean, Jonathan David currently his market value is about 50 million pounds. For Isak, his current market value is like 40 million pounds. Do you see Arsenal splashing that much
We need
cash?
to we need,
Right.
because if we qualify for the Champions League, you
Mm.
need all the players, you need all the bodies in.
Yeah,
Champions League is not for the young boys or for the small boys. You need to play big. If you're playing in the
true.
Champions League, you need to play big. You're playing in the Champions League, you're playing in the EPL, you're playing in the FA Cup, you're playing in the Carabao Cup. You need a squad, you need bodies, man. So
Yeah, I need that squad there.
getting Isak, getting Jonathan David, and also keeping Lacazette as your three main strikers for the season, for the entire season, is not bad. Come on, it's not.
Yeah, no bad at all. No bad at all. Well, that's where we draw a wrap on, the first ever Arsenal fan corner episode and the
For
FootyWit
this season.
podcast 2022. Yeah, and yeah, for this season to be precise. It is always a pleasure doing this with you. I had a swell time doing this, and so every other Arsenal fan, we hope you enjoyed this. We definitely the plan is to have more Arsenal fans join the subsequent fan corner episodes so that we get the reactions from all of them, and then they're able to join in on this. So just before we go, a quick reminder to subscribe first of all to our YouTube channel and subscribe as well to the podcast platforms, talking about Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. All right, then this is where we draw a wrap. Thanks so much for hanging with us till this time. Till next time on the EPL review, we'll be back. Have a great night, guys.